Hey,
We
peace and
good.
blessings, everybody. You now tuned in the weed locked in. I'm your host, man, Kevin KK Ford. Shout out to my other co-hosts. No, they ain't here. They running around doing what they do, putting in the work for the people. O'Shea Canty, Mikey B. Man, shout out to them, man. Love y'all. I don't know if they're gonna pull up later or not, but tonight I got two esteemed brothers with me, man. We got Jarell Sweets and John Oliver, man. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves to y'all, so y'all know the type of work they put in, know who they are, know what they're about before we actually get into this discussion and this real welfare check and showing y'all what unity and emotion look like. So, which one of y'all wanna go first?
After you, brother John. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, man. My name is. It's an honor to be here. Shout out to Kevin for the work he's putting in. Definitely for what he's doing. Definitely him. Not giving up on himself. And I wanna salute him first. Before I even start talking about myself, I want to salute him because I feel like that's definitely needed. A lot of us give up on ourselves because of circumstance or whatever, and for him to go through what he's gone through and not give up on himself, that's to me that's the biggest win in life. To do that. So let
Appreciate you, bro.
shout out to that. My name is
Appreciate you.
John.
Absolutely, brother.
I'm a podcaster slash author, and I've been writing since 2004. And what basically happened was I wrote two books, and I was trying to come up with the next concept for my next book. And the next concept came up because I kept having a discussion with people, and it's called "The Man Who Grew Up Angry." This is the book now. And what happened was I came across different people, and they kept asking me about anger, and we just had these discussions. So this was the book I put out. I've been on this run for a year when it came out, and I haven't stopped. I'm on a mission to help 100 million men heal from childhood trauma and anger. We're going to create courses. I'm going to do affiliate marketing to tie it in all together. And once by next year, I could step off my trucking job. I could be more of a mentor, more of a resource, more of a talk to people. And then my big goal is to talk to Eric Thomas face to face, have a big discussion with Big Dog because I feel I'm the person that could do it. Um, that's just my mission, bro. That's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Jarell Swizzy.
Peace, brother. Give me one. I'm in New York, so there's always a
I understand. I understand. Sirens, you know how New York is,
yeah.
man. Sirens all the time. It's I already know.
Thanks, brother KK. Brother John, thank you again. Yeah, my name is Jay Sweet, Jarell Sweet, from New York, where we started a youth alternative to gun violence program called ITF, stands for In the Field, where our goal is to end the urban gun violence that kind of plagues our black and brown communities around the country, and we do it with a unique mental health and wellness approach. We created a sport-based therapy model that allows us to engage our black and brown high-risk youth in therapy and counseling sessions while playing sport, and kind of giving them a space, safe spaces, and a platform to engage in a new form of conflict resolution, trauma therapy for the PTSD formed in the streets, as well as personal and professional development. So we have our nonprofit program that we're developing in a number of different cities: New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, LA, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, New Orleans, Detroit, Baltimore. The list can go on. Um, the goal there is to put our mental health program in a number of these cities to give this specific demographic of youth a new pathway that speaks their language and kind of meets them where they are, uh, rewards them instead of punishes them. I
Right.
went through the justice system myself. I did close to 4 years for a crime I didn't commit. Had my conviction reversed on appeal after some hard work with myself and my partner, Kristen Bunyan, who's also the co-founder of our program, our head of all things mental health and wellness. Um, she really walked me through that mental health process, along with my journey through faith, and we came out on the other side of it when my appeal was won, my conviction reversed. I got home 2019, but right before the pandemic, and jumped right into this work. working with high-risk youth in Harlem and the Bronx, and now we're working across all 5 boroughs and across the country with the goal of, like again, creating a platform for these high-risk youth to put the guns down and be rewarded for it. You know what I mean? We're dealing with young adults. We all love a reward system. Most of us go to work on a daily basis for a reward of some sort, and I don't want to treat these guys like kids because we call them youth. They are youth in development, but we are dealing with young men like our former selves on this call, who usually wake up every day thinking like, how am I going to get some money, or in a better
Yeah.
sense, how am I going to provide right for my loved ones? This is a new tool that's going to allow them to provide and create some economic sustainability and create something that's ours. You know what I mean? Like the ones that was really outside kind of got labeled in a way that made us scary and unapproachable, and now we're kind of the hot ticket in the sense that like we're the former guys are now the ones that can help the most, more than
Yeah,
the more than the
because
more than the
the ones who
police,
are
more
not
than the more
afraid.
than the therapists. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now they realize that the ones that they used to lock up are now the ones that they need to call to be like, hey, we need you guys to help us with this public health crisis. Now that it's at their front doorstep, it's a public health crisis. When it was simply contained in the hoods, it wasn't their problem. Now it's a public health crisis, and now they need us. And I want our youth around the country to see that. I really want them to see like, here's your value, here's where you need it, here's where you can make the turn for yourself and be that neighborhood hero and turn things around for yourself and for your communities. Because the moment that we get our high risk youth to turn the corner, we're going to see the communities turn drastically, because those high risk youth become the gang leaders, right? The leaders, the leaders of our communities. That they lead our young men, and so they just need just a little bit of better leadership from the guys who just know what they're doing. That's just the truth. It's culturally relevant, culturally competent therapy.
Mm. So, we do this. We do this. Everybody that's tuning in, and if you just general knowledge, we do this every Tuesday night. We have something called the Real Welfare Check, right? Um, one of our partners, Queen of Money Magnet, she she has started doing this, and a program we have called Building Unity Community. So it was like, yo, let's bring it to social media so we can actually start attracting more people, seeing more people, whatever, and giving an opportunity, because the real welfare check is really about opportunity, really about
Right,
checking on the welfare of our people in every way, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, right? And also seeing what we can do to actually help, hence the term unity emotion, right? What it actually looks like, you know what I'm saying, when we do actually come together and start building and pulling our resources and start collaborating, and you know what I'm saying, instead of competing. This is why I had asked, I had wanted you to come on, because there was what you're actually doing, the steps that are, because there are actual steps that are needed, that needs to be taken to actually heal our communities, right?
right,
And first, of course, we recognize the problem. Now once we're aware of this problem, recognize it, now we start actually addressing it. How do we address it? Through I had a list of things already, like education and skills, access to healthcare, economic empowerment, infrastructure development, social safety nets, community engagement and participation, addressing systemic issues. What I just heard, collaboration and partnership, empowerment and capacity building, and long-term sustainability. Right. So these were like 10 points I had. I had one over already, actually dealing with this. So it's crazy, because how these points start being reached from what we're doing, right? What everyone is doing is like, all right, now the sustainability, the skill set, the being able to actually economic empowerment that your program, your program actually provides, is a game changer. You know what I'm saying? Um, through the many parts, I started actually learning things from it. As far as the trauma part, I didn't actually know that um veterans were using paintball and stuff for trauma, to deal with trauma, right?
absolutely.
Like, I didn't know that, and I didn't understand how deep the psychology of paintball went until we had that discussion, and I was just like, damn. And it made me had to think about John O too, because now when we're addressing these issues of trauma, or we addressing these issues of anger, right? There has to be some type of what's the word I'm looking for? There has to
Outlet.
be an yeah, there you go. It has to be there has to be an outlet, right? There has to be
Absolutely.
an outlet. So
For so
now when
many
we
years, right?
understand,
Basketball was my outlet. Oh, my apologies.
yes. So when we know a lot of times there is no outlet, it's like, damn, how do we how do we provide it, right? How do we
With no
actually
We're
outlet,
provide
not
it?
even taught.
that's
We're
when
not
when
even
there's no
taught
outlet. That's when
the
we go outside.
right, or we're not even taught the correct outlet. We don't know any
Right.
other outlet. What we know. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You know.
I had a
Exactly.
conversation today with a brother out of Philadelphia who explained to me, and my partner Kristen's from Philly as well. She confirmed. I guess there was a mayor out of Philly a number of years ago, Mayor Nutter, who in his 2 terms really kind of wiped out, all the recreation centers, the YMCA's, the libraries, and a lot of the schools in
Yeah.
Philly. And this brother who was a former lifer doing his time in Philadelphia and got pardoned, he was explaining like this happened while he was locked up, and he literally saw the
Yeah.
decline in the city. Like he saw the violence rate go up. He saw the incarceration rates go up. And when you're in prison, you learn, right? When you hear when a new prison is being built up the street, it's just the knowledge that you have access to while you're back there. So he was hearing about between 10 to 15 new prisons going up. And also when you're back there, you learn that like when you hear a new prison's going up, that means they already have the plan. They already have the people to fill it, because they wouldn't even have broken ground without knowing that they had the at
Having the
least
bed
50
space
percent
numbers.
occupancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even pull out the plan yet until they know they got the numbers. So his understanding of that really kind of set my path of thought today around how systematically and strategically in a lot of our cities, right, these resources, the few that we did have, even like you said, brother John, sometimes we don't even have the right outlets, but the ones that we do have, when those do get taken from us, right, like I said, when,
Right.
when they take the outlets, we go outside.
Right.
We
You
go
don't know
outside.
any.
So
You don't know what you don't know.
yeah, it's crazy. My wife, we had a conversation and we were talking about like the rites of passage, right? And that's something like from our culture, from our people that was actually lost, right? Through slavery, through all of um,
Right.
um colonial, let's do occupations, whatever. We actually lost that, and in a sense, it was replaced by uh you could say prison or gang culture, or things that made you feel like you were strong and
Right.
tough, because or man, because this is the rites of passage. This is what they was meant for, to show you your strength and your power, right? To
Right.
show you that you're able, whether the tribe takes you on a hunting trip and y'all go up in the mountains for some months or whatever, or you know what I mean, and you come back, you tough, you feel that you just prove to yourself and your companions that you're capable, that you can work within a union, that you can be a team, that you can be relied on, that
Yeah, that you are of value, a
exactly,
value add. Yeah.
that you are of value. And
Um,
the thing that happens is, now that that's lost, is like, what in what ways does a you know young black male or female, like in growing up in these neighborhoods or impoverished communities, whatever, how do they show their worth? How do they show their value? What tools or what avenues do we provide for them to show them that they're of value? And you see what it is every day. Like, your value
yeah.
is based upon whether your clothes, your jewelry,
Your
your
body.
shape, your
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, you can dance, or
What you
yo,
have, what you have externally.
Right.
exactly
And
what you have
also,
externally,
and
exactly.
also, I want to add to what he said, what Kevin said. What I notice is, even with that, like, let's say, because I grew up where we learned about all that, but there's no connection to the adult part. You understand? Like, it's like, okay, you taught me this, but then you set me. It's like you set me up for failure because there's no connection to the how does this apply to the adult connection? You know what I'm saying? Like if you taught me to be a Boy Scout, but there's no connection to it in manhood where I
Yeah.
see it, it's
Right.
just difficult. Right. It's just like I've seen that so many
That
times.
I spoke to some good brothers, former gang leaders behind the wall, who expressed something kind of similar about, essentially the early foundations of a lot of gangs were rooted in, right, teaching young men to become grown men, right, and to
Yeah.
stand for their community. And it shifted, right? So even like you said, like what in our communities now, what do we value? Like you said, we value a lot of the external, but foundationally, when these organizations, or not gangs, when these organizations were formed, right, they were formed from the space of we have to have a frontline stance against our communities because we are endangered, and then it somehow turned into turning on one another.
Into
Right.
into actually
Like, because it used to
criminality.
be about fighting the external force, and then we ended up fighting one another. Um,
Right.
So even if you look at right, and I like my one of my boy Wise Brim, he had just made a valid point, right? He said, look at the acronyms, right? So community, revolutionary, and progress, right? That's what the actual Crips use,
yep,
right? Then you had like Bloods. There was a few of them. Black Liberation Organization of Defense, right? So and me actually being the member, one of the things that was put in there and what drew the kids is the actual structure and organization, because now you had a thing where you had to follow rules and regulations and you had to be checked. So to say that, oh nah, these kids don't want, nah, that's actually a lot of times what they be thriving for, to have something in an organized body where rules is being pushed, where your camaraderie or your courageousness or whatever it is that you present is actually looked at and rewarded, right? You're rewarded for being respectable and honorable. You know what I mean? And being honorous and standing up for your brother, not being a coward. Like these things became honorable, like in that sense. And you can tell that a lot of people were actually hungry for that. So now, like what I looked at with me, what I actually started working on with EM3 was looking at that like, damn, how do we actually do that to make the brothers feel like they are a part of something, and it's that same particular type of structure, whereas you're a
right,
part of something bigger than you, right? Not only that you're a part of something bigger than you, but there are codes of conduct. Right, there is the ways that you will get checked, right? Because a man respects that, right? A man respects another man. If he's coming, yo, bro, what are you doing? Bro, you
yeah,
like what? Like this is what actually no the maturation process a lot of times was missed, because dudes, you'll do something and people will be afraid of these young dudes because, oh, he gonna wild out, he gonna, like, nigga, they be looking for that. They be looking for that
yeah,
strength. They look for that strength to give them strength. I mean, because
Right.
like that's something that I looked for, and I was a teenager when my situation happened, but I looked at older individuals in the neighborhood who actually could have changed my course and direction. But what they did is they kind of actually bowed down to what I was doing.
yeah.
Saying, which kind of in my young mind just made me feel like, just blew my head up even more. And I don't really didn't
Empowered you, yeah.
at that time, not really knowing how to interpret power or interpret those feelings. Like, hey, this grown man ain't even like, yo, here, take this. You know what I'm saying? Yo, here, take, and it showed me something. But as I got older and started looking at my what I went wrong at and what could have happened, I'm like, damn, like that's all I needed. Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it don't take
Yeah.
much, right? 16, 17, 18 years old. All it takes is a bad day. You know what I mean? A bad day will send your whole life in a different trajectory. So that guidance is because of how it's not the same way for other kids. I'm not gonna put a skin color on it, but it's not the same way for other kids in the sense that, like, one mistake will have you gone for 20 plus years, right?
So
I know I went to college. I went to college with kids who, on a drunk night admitted to me that they, in high school they ran somebody over with their car drunk,
wow. So
and
we
they
got a
and they
brother. So
and you
usually, not to cut you over. Usually we have. I used to tell people to come pull up, so you know what I mean, they actually give they know something about themselves or react to what's being said, or if they may need some advice or guidance, whatever. So James Marks, I just had James Marks pull up. I'm about to pull him up right now on a thing so we can vibe and see what he got to say real quick. I'm pulling him up now.
Oh, that's my man Blue. Oh man.
Wow.
Blue's the big homie from out west I was telling you about, and the moment we
Yeah,
was talking about
crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I just texted him and asked him to tap in. Thank you, brother Blue. You're on mute. You're on mute though.
Hey, what's up, champ?
Thank you, brother.
What's good, bro? What's good, man?
Hey, man, you already know it's full circle. You know how. Hey, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be, money.
Hey, yo,
I wanted to tap you into this conversation, man. We're having a real conversation around just the male leadership and the way that it's formed itself over the years in the Black community, and then we got on the conversation of like the foundational level of when the original organizations were formed, the Crips and the Bloods, and what it really stood for, as Kevin brought up. Kind of where the Black community is when it comes to rites of passage. I would love your input on when you was around during the foundational days, right? When in those early days when you were involved with the gangs, like what was that like, in the sense of the people that were older than you trying to show you the right way, trying to show you right to say like, hey, if you go this way, this is how you walk your way into going from a young man to a grown man.
Well, coming up in that lifestyle, the rites of passage was all bravado. It wasn't, but there were certain individuals that was there that I took my leadership style from. And I'm not going to say my leadership style, I'm just going to say my style of interacting with other individuals that when I became older, I carried that same demeanor, which was, compassionate love. And I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'll show you how to do it. You know what I mean? And no, y'all don't do it. We'll do it. You know what I mean? Y'all going and go. You know what I mean? And we going to do it. Y'all just get out the way. That was how I was raised, shit. Now, what you were saying again?
Nah, he was it's crazy because when you said that just about the bravado thing, that's the actual, I didn't use that particular word, but that was actually the meaning of what our rites of passage actually became. You know what I'm saying? Like bravado, showing who can be actually tough. And this is something that was actually lost to us, because now the actual rites of passage was dealing with showing your manhood, right? Showing you could be responsible, showing that you could be courageous. But from eons ago, being over here, it was twisted and formulated, you know what I'm saying, in such a different way that we just kept going down a wrong path, becoming worse and worse. Like, you see how in the beginning, I know at one time, like, when the Panthers were gone and BLA, whatever, they used to try to reach out to the street organizations, share literature and share knowledge, and there was a more of a sense of community, wherever hood you from, it was more sense of community. Even if you couldn't come to my hood, really, it was still, my hood was everybody in my hood good. We taking care of everybody in this neighborhood. Don't you come over here starting no nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
No, go ahead, brother. I'm listening. You
and now, like, we done got so away from even protecting the community, is now just more so whoever's in my circle, not even caring about the rest of the community any longer. And that's a sad thing. It's like, it's just an area now. It's just a neighborhood now. It ain't a community no more. It's just a neighborhood.
You're right. It's a lot of dysfunction, man. And actually, the thing that attracted me, like, I don't have no brothers. I'm the only son. I'm the oldest boy, so I had to do everything on my own. So I didn't have no brothers and no uncles and no cousins, nobody I could go to, or talk to. My uncles were strung out on drugs. You know what I mean? So the attraction to that was, I was looking for a brother. You know what I mean? I was looking for that that camaraderie, you know what I mean? That sense of belonging, that community, the same things, the things that, you know what I mean, that connected to the Maslow's hierarchy. Those were the things that I was seeking. And initially, upon getting involved in that at a young age, it was there. It was there. And it remained in its purest form until I would say we started interacting with the older guys, and then the older guys started the manipulative tactics. And that's why I love the elders that raised me, my big homies, because they was go-getter. They was go boys. They didn't let us do nothing. They were like, no, we gonna do it. Oh, y'all going? Okay, no, I'm going with you. But you had the other sector who manipulated and used the youngsters. And then that's kind of like where I came in at, was always been a person that I observed. So when I was in California Youth Authority, I was like, hearing about a lot of manipulative stuff, little dudes going on slide missions, getting by the younger dudes, getting life sentences, sometimes getting killed. Either way it go, it wasn't nothing that I felt like in my spirit that was cool, you know what I mean? And so based on the way that I was raised by my older homeboys, and you always in every hood, you got those certain individuals that want to pray because, and did I even say this today? I say what has happened now where it's at is you got those same individuals now that the drug game is kind of like from, when we came into the drug trade, it was different products. So now that it's switched up, you got these older dudes that just refuse to grow up and be men. They refuse to bow down and go get a job and start from square zero. So now they want to manipulate and continue to prey on the youngsters. And that's what's happening. And what has been happening is that you got these individuals that are, and it's only a few of them in every neighborhood. You got the cancerous dudes, man, that's preying on the youth. And then that's what has eroded the structure, because when I came home, I formed the Young Foundation, and it was like, hey, the whole philosophy was, hey, if a big homie gives you a gun and he don't go with you, go ahead and use it on him. You have permission. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to do anything for you in that thing, and that what that turned out to do was it turned into a fuck you campaign on some of the older dudes. You know what I mean? Because the youngsters saw how they was getting manipulated. So now you have that, as you said, that divide to where now certain youngsters ain't listening to certain homeboys. It's just fortunate to me that when I was out there on the block and I had the block, and I had the community doing the wrong thing, but doing the right thing, because I paid off houses, paid off house notes and all kind of stuff, not knowing what I was doing, but I was doing it. You know what I mean? That, so it's like, you got these older dudes, man, that, they're cancers in the community, man, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's only a few of them, you know what I mean, that are around, but yeah, the attraction was the love, the camaraderie and everything. And then, but honestly speaking, it was the drugs that tore us up. And then within that, you had the cliques, as you talk about, which now we start going into silos with different cliques inside of the neighborhood. And these dudes robbing these dudes robbing these dudes. And as we all know, just like on a football field, everybody can't run the ball. Somebody got a block. So dudes stopped respecting dudes' positions. The dudes that had good hearts, that wouldn't snitch, but they wasn't fighters or killers. Dudes start putting them in the trunk and robbing them and all kind of stuff. Now, so what are we left with? We left with all these hardcore gangsters. And that's why dudes used to wonder, like, hey, Blue, why you hanging around that dude? I was like, dude, I don't want no killers around me. I can go to sleep around them dudes. And I know I'm going to wake up with this 100,000 next to me. If I go to sleep around anybody else from this neighborhood, I ain't going to sleep and I may not wake up. You know what I mean? So they started getting the good dudes out the way, and now we left with nothing but the spoiled, rotten dudes. You know what I mean? And so that's where we're at.
I definitely met some brothers behind the wall at Trenton and Broadway that opened up, honestly about feeling a way about their past decisions and sending youngins to go do certain things, like really realizing, like, yes, that was my fault, but then also acknowledging, like, I did that because when I was a youngin, somebody sent me, and I thought that was just the right thing to do. Even though I knew it was manipulative, I didn't think that it was the wrong thing to do. I thought it was the only thing to do. You on mute, Blue?
So so it became.
No, I'm just gonna add to what you said. In any community, any society, once something is done over 2 generations, it's normalized. It's no longer a dysfunction anymore. It is normal. That is the norm of that community.
Nah, he
Yeah, and
yeah, that's crazy because that's where I was about to go. When you have certain things already implemented, right? So you have someone who gets in power who don't really understand what power is, right? Who gets into a leadership position who don't understand what being a leader is, right? At all. But it's like okay, I done put some work in. Everybody looking towards me. I'm gonna make the decisions that I feel I should make, right? Or they'll look to uh 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 what was it? Movies and books because you had dudes styling
Yep.
themselves after
Media
mob dudes
content.
and yeah, and media or how they feel that a gangster should be or what a gangster should look or I'm supposed to be as ruthless as that, not really understanding the dynamics of it. And when that continues, it causes the big gap because like he was saying, the youngins just start looking at the elders like, hold up, what? Like I got a little sick because I was one of those youngins like that when I was like, bro, you can't like you ain't got more money than me. You ain't smarter than me. You ain't tougher than me. But I'm supposed to listen to everything that you telling me to do
Right.
just because like you've been running around putting in some work for some years, right? And I'm just
right,
automatically I just gotta just jump out the window anytime you say jump out the window. Right. And I was one of those who actually started questioning it, but a lot of youngins don't do that. A lot of youngins don't question anything. They just be like, you know what? Yo, big bro just sent me a message. This is what it is.
Yeah.
And they go for it. But now, like where I'm at, and when I feel we are now, is being not so much going into the actual problem, but being solution based. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And how do
And
we
I,
actually fix
I
this?
wanna I wanna add some. I wanna add something to what James. I don't know if he could see me, but he made a valid point, like what he said about how like it's like those certain groups of people, those certain groups of older men who prey on younger boys. That's not just even in like we just see this all over, right? Because
Yeah.
I've never been to prison, but it's like our community in general has been taught these ideas that because I'm older, I don't want to pass the baton. So what I'm going to do, even in a financial way, right? I know more financial literacy. So let's say me and Kevin, I got more knowledge than Kevin, and Kevin is looking up to me. Instead of me giving them the play, I'd rather withhold it and then send them on a dumbing mission. And we've seen this all aspects. This is not just one aspect. This is just what I have seen. What I have seen, even being on the outside, is like that mentality of just preying on somebody. Like me
So
personally, I don't get along with people like that. Like
Yeah.
I
it's
don't.
crazy
Like
because it becomes basically the American way, right? Hold on one
right,
second. I just want to make sure I tell the people that's in the chat, hit that like button, hit that share, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that super chat. Like, it's like stop playing. I mean, y'all do that all the way for all that other nonsense and all that. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Make sure you hit that share thing, hit that super chat, pass it on, tell people to pull up, man. For
Get
real.
let's
involved,
go,
man.
man.
Um, and
Get
what I
involved. This
was
is our
what
people
I
we're
was
talking
going
about.
into is that it be like it's the American way, like because
Right,
you see how when we start finding out everything that how this was built, right? Those that's in
right.
power does things to keep everybody else in a
But
certain on a
but
certain level,
down,
so
right,
their power is secured, right? So I'm gonna be lie, I'm gonna manipulate, I'm gonna put out propaganda, I'm gonna do whatever to make sure that my power doesn't, you know what I'm saying, get pulled away from me
right,
or get snatched from me
right,
because I
Right.
don't allow the people to come up. So that means somebody better than me gonna come take me out, right, and take my position. Right,
right,
but that's looking at it from a wicked standpoint. That's looking at it from a negative standpoint because now you're supposed to, when you empower your people, right? And I've seen that. Like this helped me like tremendously. Like you empower people as you get older, those same people that you don't empower that's coming up, right? You may stumble or fall or whatever. Now you have these same individuals that you don't empower. They're in positions to actually make sure you good, right?
right,
And their thing is about collaborating, not competing. So it's like, yo,
Right.
bro, what's up? You,
right.
bro. I ain't never forget. What's up? It's a brother. I'm gonna get right to you, John. It was a
No,
brother,
go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
There was a brother. And we wasn't super tight, like in prison. We just like some time together, but I empowered him though. You know what I'm saying? I told him taught him some stuff, kept him out of trouble, right, and was moving. So years later, I get a letter from him, and then like I'm home, he pull up because what I did for him, like I helped change the trajectory of his life, right? Unbeknownst, me just being, an individual, like I'm always going to empower my people. I'm never want to. So it's like now that like I've done that with him, he came he came all the way to Atlanta because I'm in Atlanta. He came all the way down here, right? He took me and my wife out, went out chill, like everything, and it was just love because I helped empower him. And now he's in a actual better position. And this is more than one individual, I'm saying, like that this was done to, that came back to me and shown me. And it wasn't me intentionally trying, it's just me being me, right? Just you be naturally being a good person, naturally loving your people and doing right by your people. Because when you do that,
you walking in your God power. That's what walking in your God
gonna come
power
back.
means.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what this is all about. And that's why I love this conversation, because we have been like, just like what you just said, Kev, even the propaganda, we're shown the idea that this doesn't exist, right? Even this, like, even us having these conversations, but you and I know it does, right? But we're shown, I was having this conversation with somebody, we're told so much of the negative that we think that that's the only thing in so many ways, not even just behind the wall, even out here, right? Oh, black men. How many times have you heard black people say, well, we can't come together? But you know how many black people, you see what I'm saying? Like even that quote unquote rhetoric, like even the psychological, like we're talking even the psychological behind it. Oh, there ain't no good men behind the wall. Like it could be anything, right?
It's gonna be some nonsense. Yeah.
Right. It's just so it's all levels, and that's why when you really look at it, just like what you said, when you really look at it, one thing I learned, bro, and this one thing I learned this year is the reason people build real wealth is through family and communities. That's it. It's the only way you can possibly build wealth.
Yeah.
You cannot build wealth by yourself. You cannot build it hard work and effort. You have to build it with camaraderie, the team, people who are on the same page. Just like what you said, when I pour into you, you pour into me. That's why my mentality is, my definition of love is we're building together. Kevin and I got love for him in the sense he's building with me. I got sense with brother Jay Sweet over here, love in the sense we're building. And when I see that and it's a reciprocated, I don't have to wonder, okay, am I going to get stabbed in the back? Am I going to, because you don't want to go out on a dummy mission either and, go full throttle. But at the same time, you want to be able to pour into the right people as well, where it's like, okay, I'm okay.
I wanted to address this comment. Right, you see the comment brother made goes back to tribalism and Africans in our DNA. That's why some brothers won't get along with each other. We come from different tribes. So actually, that is a misnomer, right? Tribes, right, were instituted. And I'm gonna go back to the very beginning. Why, for the very first part, God said He had created people of all shapes, sizes, colors, whatever, tribes, whatever, right? It's for people to actually get along. The tribal thing, different tribes were put into place to actually cultivate different things. Right, so I'm a hunter-gatherer tribe, or these people was a farming tribe, or these people make pottery, right? So it's like all these tribes have specific skill sets, and they actually work with each other, right? As far as
division for collaboration, not division for competition.
Exactly, and that was never our thing. Us going against each other. If something happened, disputes happen, which it does is natural. It was handled in the appropriate way. It wasn't people hating because they got this, or hating because no, they were always always working together. And this was something like just from studying history, going back as far as just before like Kemet in the Egyptian Empire, how things were always put. We always worked together. You know what I'm saying? Whether we were different tribes, countries, nations, or whatever, we always worked together, and our disputes were even handled in an honorable way. Right? If we had to go sword to sword or whatever, that's what it was. If it violated and your people violated, I took over your thing. I didn't violate or disrespect your people. You did this, we took over. And it's crazy because now, even in that sense, right? People, a lot of you didn't understand and realize anybody in that community was still able to attain the highest particular power possible. There was nothing actually taken. It's that I'm a leader and you're a leader. We got into a beef. I came and I took over your land. Boom. I'm not disrespecting or violating your people. Everything is business as usual. If you people still want to aspire and be great and do things, that was allowed. Right? That was
Right.
allowed. It wasn't until other cultures came in trying to interpret or figure out how we did things, because majority of everything in civilization came from us. But they started figuring out how we do things, but they just couldn't get it right. Their way of taking over was taking everything and leaving you with
Domination.
nothing. Yes,
Domination. That's what it was. But that's
yes,
but that's what I'm saying. Like even when generals, like even if you look at the mindset of a general and a soldier, it's two different things. I was having this conversation with someone, but we've been taught we have to fight. Real generals don't. The war is the last aspect of war. The war is won before it's already fought. So if you have been taught like I'm your competition, if you play defensive lineman and I play linebacker, we're both playing two different positions to go for the same thing. But our mindset is what we've been taught. I got to be better than you. For what?
Right.
For what? We trying to get to the same goal, homie. Like this, you know what I'm saying? But that goes back to how we been internalized, been taught on all different levels. I have to don't like you. I have to do this. I have to do all these things. And so while us fighting each other, we're getting our resources taken. We're getting, this not happening for us. We're not getting inside doors that we could get in. We're not, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Versus, oh, you play your position, I play your position. Oh, I get it. You a hunter gatherer. I'm a warrior. Okay, let's just do this together. Let's figure out this way we could just do
yeah,
what we got to do. Right? Because it makes things so much simpler. Like Kevin, he has knowledge I don't have, and I have knowledge he has, but I don't think he's better and vice versa. But a lot of times we look at that, oh, I'm better because I'm better now. That doesn't mean nothing. It means nothing because I'm sure there are certain situations where if we get into a situation, I'm gonna need him, and
Right.
vice versa. But we don't look at it. We look at it like, well, because I have this or I did this. You don't know what you don't know until you get in the
yeah.
situation. You don't know what
And
you.
it's crazy because I used to say that, like, you never know a person until you every type of situation with them, and then you actually see. First Class Empire. He said he had a blueprint. Pull up. You say you got a blueprint. Pull up and share it, or hit in the chat, and we can actually talk. Because if you do, this is what this thing is about. This is why we say unity in motion. It's about building. It's about coming together, right? So if you have that, let's go, right? Because why Brim asked, what's the solution? All right. So now I'm glad I'm glad he had asked that, and then the brother said he has a blueprint. Then he went into land and build construction and businesses, right? So now there's an actual way to do all of that. And from looking back, like studying our ancestors, looking at things that happened, other organizations that was built, other things that was actually torn down. This is where you get your blueprint from, right? Like Carter G. Woodson said, right? You learn history to find out where you are today, right? That's like the roadmap. You learn that to find out things, to actually learn the mistakes that were made, successes that were made, and where we can actually go from or what we can actually build upon. So one of the things is right that we're actually doing um besides me with EM3, right, which is an actual fraternal beneficiary society, right? So it's an organization you structure where it becomes something sort of like what Marcus Garvey did, where he created a membership based organization, right, for people, our people around the world, right? Around the world. So his thing was, let's not focus on these people politics, their systems, whatever. Let's work to build our own, right? And how we work to build our own is establish actual funds, organizations, right? Businesses, corporations, trusts, right? Where we do these things with each other, right? With each other. And then now, once we start doing this with each other, it's like, I say, for example, we have us three right here. We establish a board. Boom. For this whatever organization. Now we look for those who are on the same type of time to bring them in different skill sets. What do you do? Just like we started talking about the hunter gatherer, the warrior, or whatever, right? So you have a chemist, an engineer, somebody that does biology, a doctor, right? Somebody that does construction, somebody that drives trucks, right? Somebody that does farming, someone that butchers animals, right? So you take all of these different components and skill sets and people in their own particular lanes and unify them and bring them together under one particular banner, right? So now it's helping. Hey, yo, John, you drive trucks, right? All right, listen, we gonna make sure his trunk company, whatever Sweet got, Jarell got to deliver, we got products and deliver stuff that we got to send over to Alabama. All right, bro can go pick them up and take them up over there. Boom. All right, we go even a step further. Yo, we got another brother that got a manufacturing plant where the products is being made from that need to get to Jarell, right? All right, yo, we got the trucks to go get them. Yeah, we got the trucks to go get them. All right, bro, gonna go pick them up and bring them up over here. So now it's the same thing. Some of the this is why I love Kwanzaa, right? Because it becomes some of those qualities that's actually shouted and promoted, which is collective economics, right? Collective struggle, right? We need these particular things if we're going to actually move forward and unify. And the reason we speak on as far as gang culture, a lot of the times because that is a image, right? Even though however negative it be, it is an image of what collective struggle when collective economics do it. Because on the street level, a lot of the young brothers is doing it. They stick to each
Right.
other. They making their own little. They can say they got their little brand, right? They helping each other build their brand up. They staying tight. They like, yo, they keeping this money with each other. They spending it with each other. So now you take that and then magnify it, right? You take that and add the skill set of brothers who graduated from Harvard, Yale, these HBCUs, whatever, right? And you bring them in the fold to show a brother who has that hustle, who has that compassionate vision. Yo, bro, I'm gonna show you how to turn what you making. I'm gonna show you how to monetize that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we all can get some money,
That's
right?
what it all
And
boils down to, bro.
that's how we actually do it.
Right.
One thing I love, actually, I
Man,
love seeing them,
hit that
especially
like
here,
button, man. Share, subscribe. I know what it is, man. Good. Go
especially
ahead,
in
bro.
up here in the city, right, and uptown, or just all over the city, all five boroughs. I love seeing a lot of these youth of color excited about capturing content. So I'm seeing everybody with the cameras and the stabilizers. At the very least, I love seeing that they're aware of the changing times and that content is currency. And all right, well,
Yeah.
instead of going to go do this today, or if I'm going to go do this today, at the very least, let me bring my camera because I think that there's an angle here. There's a niche approach here, or there's something that I think people would want to see about me. I think I have my gripes with certain parts of the social media landscape, but I do acknowledge that I think a lot of youth are finding their voice, their image in today's world, because I think what didn't exist, a while back was, especially for Black people of color, was access to this much information, right? Where we all had, we used to be so with so many things of benefit used to be kept from us, withheld from us. But now when you got, internet, these social media platforms that we're not restricted from, it levels it levels the playing field a little bit more. So I like seeing these youth. I met a youngin from Harlem who he works at the Nike store on 125th Street, but he's also a cameraman for Overtime, this huge
Yeah.
brand that is big in like the live streaming of sports space. And I just thought that was dope. I thought that was cool. Look, from right where we from, like, but with a head a mentality of, now with this camera, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go do some like great things. I'm gonna take this camera far and wide and bring it back to the hood. But I'm gonna start from showing the world that I'm trying to go see. I'm gonna show them right where I'm from, like right here. I like seeing that.
Beautiful.
He's
Yeah,
seen
And
he has a platform to be able to show the beauty that he sees in his own community that others might not see, and to be able to show that beautifully, that is probably going to, I hope it does, I assume it will, right, kind of skyrocket him into a trajectory because he's taking everything that he's experienced growing up right there in the MLK projects. He's turning it into art. And that's what every youth wants, right? That's whatever it is, whatever your art is, that's what most of these kids, all these kids, that's what everyone wants. They want to be able to turn whatever they're passionate about into an art that could then also sustain them and their loved ones.
We have, and it's crazy because we have to be there to support them. You know what I mean? And this is how we start building, where we actually are supporting each other and what we are doing with each other instead of I'm supporting. It's like it was something. It's funny. Rick Ross, right? He had said something. Hold on one second. See, my partner just pulled up, man. Queen of Money Magnet. I mean, just pulled up.
Peace, Queen.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah.
Hey.
Shout it out to the Queen.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So what else?
Great day, billionaires.
Hey, did you see I just did the album? Did you see I just did the album?
Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Did you see? I told you, I'm doing affiliate marketing in 2 weeks.
Yes.
This your fault.
Yes.
This your fault. I'm becoming great.
Not fault.
This Kevin's fault. This Hill's fault. This y'all fault. I'm becoming this great. Because when I go meet ET, y'all gonna be right in the front row. I'm be talking just like this.
I love y'all so much. I'm so proud of y'all for everything that y'all do, like building unity, educating, really showing people like, look, we were here, but now we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, so you didn't get a chance to meet Jarell Sweets. Hope like y'all it's you let him know who you are. He let you know who he is. So y'all could
please.
Okay, well, greetings. I am Queen of Money Magnet, the founder of the Building Unity community, also a community philanthropist, financial literacy coach, motivational speaker, radio personality. I'm here to bridge the gaps wherever we need them, whether it's with wealth, whether it's with mental health, no matter what it is. I am here to help you guys connect with whatever it is that you need. I just want us to win.
Thank you, Creed. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Jay. We're here in New York, where we started a youth alternative to gun violence program called ITF. Stands for In the Field, where we are looking to end the gun violence in our communities by addressing our high risk Black and brown youth and their mental health and wellness needs. So we started creatively combining real clinical therapy and counseling and wellness practices with sport play, but we went in a different route from the football and the basketball. We chose paintball for the youth that really get active outside, so that they could have a place for that outlet, for that competitive space, and to heal their PTSD in a fun and engaging way that doesn't feel like sitting on a therapist's couch or so. One of the ways that we do that is we get some of the violence interrupters and the credible messengers from around the country trained in our sport-based therapy model, so that, in my opinion, I think some of the guys that really can get hands-on with the high-risk youth, I think they're the best therapists and psychologists that we have in the Black community. I think they just haven't gotten the Harvard degrees, the Ivy League degrees that allow a government official or for people, right? Sometimes even with us, we feel better with somebody with an MD or with a doctor in front of their name. But I think when it comes to the therapy that these youth need, it's right there. It's right there for us, and sometimes it's right there in that brother that came home after doing 20 plus years, or the former gang leader, or the sister that really used to be outside with the guys like really getting active. I think those are some of our better deliverers of the help that these youth need, because it's difficult for them to listen to anybody that doesn't know what they've gone through. You can't. You spent 20 years studying at Harvard. You can't understand what we went through because you was in a classroom while we was outside. So how could you possibly help me outside of like a theoretical, school book kind of way? But that's not going to get it over here. That works on the other side. It doesn't really always work over here. So we're just trying to build something that works over here. Some like culturally relevant, culturally competent therapy in motion. That's what we're building over here.
I absolutely love that idea that you guys have going on. Kevin and I will be starting our youth team program from the block to the bank in
I know
about
that's
two
right.
weeks. Yeah, so we'll be doing the same thing, and I would love to implement some of the programs that you currently have, and getting those down here in Atlanta for these youth to get the opportunity. Like you said, they don't really respect when someone comes to them like, oh, I'm Dr. Da 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 da. I'm from the streets to the boardroom. So
Yeah,
I can identify with these youngsters and say, hey, I've done this in the past. I've done that. These guys have done this. This man did 25 years in jail. This person did 10 years in jail. They're more likely to listen to you. So I love that. I really love that. I'm glad that you already started doing that. This will be my
Yeah,
first
he's already,
time working with the team.
not, it's crazy. He's already discussing, so that's what we actually discussing about as far as bringing it down here, as far as the paintball thing,
yep,
because that's something. It's different. It's empowering. It's a it creates financial opportunities, um, mental health opportunity. It creates so many opportunities, though. Another outlet. That's why he had mentioned the other sports things, because now you're talking about an actual league, right?
like
Yeah,
And
oh
see,
yeah,
that's
so a
kind of like the
for-profit, like a
youth
national
program with
paintball
the
league.
kids, where
yeah,
they don't use paintballs, but they use those the little jelly balls that are like
The gel
water.
balls,
Yeah,
yeah,
they use that. So they're working on creating a league for that for ages 4 to 15. I want to
yep,
say.
yep.
And then they do the paintball for the older kids, but we don't have that here in Georgia. That is in our community. It's very, very popular in other people communities,
Yep.
but our community don't have that as well as the league. So I'm 100% behind what you need, from writing out the grants to partnering with more companies. Like we have the Boys and Girls Club that they can get those contracts for grants and things for us, because I don't know if you guys are fairly new, but we're only 3 years old. So they can get
We're new as
that
well.
and we can service those contracts for them.
That would be huge. That would be huge. Honestly, my favorite part about what you said was the um, what was it from?
from
What was it from
from
the
the block,
streets to the bank?
Oh
From the
yeah,
block
from
to
the
the
block
bank.
to the
from the
bank.
block to the bank.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm big. I'm big on the not. I don't use the words financial literacy necessarily, but like I do understand the importance of the financial landscape and education. I worked on Wall Street for a number of years as an investment banker, and and what I learned after what I used to get into transitioning to working into on Wall Street, and I learned that I already knew a lot of that stuff from what I used to sell. I already understood commodities. I understood. We understand more of Wall Street than they let us believe. And when I got
Right.
there, I realized that what they do is that they package it in a way to where they make you believe the only way that you could understand how Wall Street or how economics work is by going to a high level education institution. You got to go to Harvard, you got to go to Yale to really understand how Wall Street works, and you don't, because a lot of these youngins that I worked with when I was
America's a
behind the wall,
business.
they already
America's a
know
business.
that's you know what I mean. Like the Kennedys, like bootlegging, like
Right.
a lot. The majority of the titans of finance and of wealth in this country started out in illegal, illicit activities.
Of course.
Yes.
Bootlegging, all that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So like
Yo, where
if
you
you
think
acknowledge that,
gangs come
then you
from?
acknowledge that
Gang?
a young drug dealer on the
Right.
corner on 139th in Harlem and Lenox, it could be the next Kennedy if he had the right tools.
Yes,
If
Right.
he
Yeah,
that's
had the right
all it's
tools, he could go
about.
from selling
Providing
work
them with the
to
tools. They
yeah.
selling
have the skill set. They
gold,
already have them.
oil,
Understanding
grain. I mean,
markets and understanding
exactly.
markets and trend. 'Cause they so big on drip and swag and how they invent stuff. That's how the game
Yeah,
is. So you already know, with that innovativeness is just use, like you said, just using it in the right way.
they had
Right.
these exams that I had to take. Like when my first year working on Wall Street, you got to take certain exams that like establish you as basically legally competent in being able to advise somebody else about money. So you got to take your Series 7 exam, your Series 63 exam, your Series 66 exam, and I because you guys just mentioned from the block to the bank, and I would love to work with you guys on this because what I wanted to do was create a study guide, the same study guide that I had to study to pass the Series 7 and the 63 exam. I want to take those same
Let's
concepts, those
go.
same chapters, and show how it applies to the streets.
Let's go.
Yes, I want
Let's
to work
go.
Those
with you
same
on that.
those
I want to
same
work with you on that
chapters.
Let's go.
tonight.
Yeah, like so I want to like the Series 7,
You're great.
like you know how they got like investment banking for dummies, how to build a house for dummies,
There you go.
Wall Street for street niggas, part of my language, but you know what I mean. But Wall Street for the ones that's for street economics, and showing you that
Wall
it's a
Street from
real
the
thin
block.
line between it. Yeah, from the block to the bank.
When I create my course, I'm gonna name it something like that. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
drag your ass over here, or something like that.
right.
Like, you gotta get that language. You gotta understand that language.
Yeah,
But you have
No,
to
only because
understand that
they
language.
want
you
That's
gotta
what I'm
speak how
they
people
want to
want
be
to hear it.
identified with. If you look at the fact that our youth, I'm 33, so even people at my age, we want to have conversations where people can relate.
right.
When I started to take public speaking, and when I went to college and I started learning the different ways to say the same thing that I was
The
already
same
saying,
thing.
I was like, wow, I've been
Yeah,
doing this my whole life. My mom went to prison. My father went to prison. So they read like 48 Laws of Power. They read all these different books that they gave us these skill sets just growing up. Oh, never outshine the master. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like those are things that we were just taught on a day-to-day basis. So once I read the books, I was like, I already know this.
right, right,
You're just taught, but that goes back to what Kevin was saying. That's how this society is built. I keep the power, but I keep you down, making you think you don't know more than me. When reality is,
exactly.
you do know more than me. That's the guy. I've seen this in all aspects. I just see this working in the prison. I've seen this working outside the prison. I've seen it working in the government. I've seen this work. It's all aspects. And when you
But
really
it's just
understand,
mindset. It's about
right,
mindset and what's being trained. I train horses. I'm probably like maybe 165, and I have horses that are afraid to do certain things or move certain places because I have put it in their mind that you can't move if you're on this rope. You can't do this and that if I have you pinned to this. Oh, you don't have shoes on your feet, so you don't need to be walking out there. Those are things that I've trained horses that are 15 times my size
Right.
right.
to think about.
Just
And that's
like,
what comes down to us.
like
So we
Elephant
gotta
in the
yo.
circus.
unlearn,
Elephant
relearn,
in the circus.
Y'all are
and
wild.
think.
Y'all are wild. Both of y'all are wild.
Elephant in the circus mentality. I wrote a poem on that. That's on my album, but it's the elephant in the circus mentality. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's all
Now
it is.
you hit the nail on the head. I see it, and I see it. It's not even about youth. I see it in everyone that we work with. Because with this paintball thing, with this approach, honestly, I'm learning that it's not about youth. We got guys in their 60s and 70s. My ex stepfather is a former military. He was like, "Yo, right after you guys are done with that youth thing, you could do something for us, veterans. Like we would love to have a something for us too, and we want to get out there too, because
So now the
my
beauty
my
of it,
my
that's crazy what you were saying. That's the beauty of it, that it is a connecting force for everybody. So it wouldn't be,
yeah,
even though let's say target youth, so it wouldn't be just for you, it'd be for all of our people.
it's for
I mean,
everyone.
so imagine the young and the old on a team together, working together constructively. You know what I'm saying? So,
Imagine members in police. Imagine members in police playing on a paintball team together,
wow.
or even against each other, but still no
Put
harm,
me
right?
against
No
them.
foul.
Nah, but
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But we
Nah,
got it.
nah,
I
nah.
didn't hear what you said.
She said,
That's,
put
no,
her against
no, I'm totally agreeing with what y'all saying. Like this is why every second Saturday of the month we have our seniors in motion from 1 to 3 p.m. And then we have
Right.
our families from 4 to 6 p.m. because we want our seniors to understand, look, we need y'all stories. We need y'all experiences. We need y'all to come and talk to the family so they can learn things. And then we need the young people to teach y'all how to do stuff. I have a class that's for 55 plus to learn crypto, AI, technology, because they will be behind if they don't understand what's going on. They'll be
Mm-hmm.
right.
scammed. They can be all types of things. So you are 100% correct. It's not just the youth, it's everyone as a collective that needs to come together.
It's
And
definitely a
we have to
community
feed
effort.
off each other.
We don't understand that. That's how you see the Mexicans make it. That's how they make it.
It's
That's
true.
how they fucking
It's
make it.
true.
Like, you know how much shit I done learned just by listening, just be on the hour call just by listening to Queen. Like, I'd be like, damn, I wasn't even thinking about that. And I'm a highly intelligent person, but damn, it goes back to what you're saying, because the interconnection. They have the oh, I could go to my cousin, call him right there, boo boo. But they done been doing that since they was 13.
Yeah.
Like, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, they
yeah.
knew that since they was 13. They're not gonna tell you. They're not gonna say, "Hey, I know this." Of course, they're not.
So
That's
it's
why I'm
What's
crazy.
like,
interesting is you mentioned earlier, because you mentioned rites of passage. When he mentioned that number 13 and he said they, all I thought about was Jewish, the Jewish community, and how at 13 there is a rite of passage event where they say you are a man now.
Yeah,
right,
We don't even have that. I
yeah.
mean, even
So
in
it's
the Latin community, right? You got quinceañeras. You got we don't really have that thing that's like, yo, based on age alone, you're a man now. So a lot of youth in those cultures grow up being like, you know what? I can't wait to be 13 because then I get to step into my dad's or my uncle's or whoever's shoes and be a man and following that example. We
yeah.
we have
And
we go by
it's up to
our black
us.
community, we go by the legal standard of like, all right, well, I
Well,
just
see,
can't
that
wait till I'm
kind of
21
falls
and can drink.
behind us not having an identity as well here
Correct.
as
Yeah,
Black Americans. A Black
Yeah.
American don't have a culture. We don't have a real culture. We have rap, but we don't have a
Yeah.
real
We got
culture that
holidays.
says at this age you do this, at this time you do that. You're responsible for this. This family marries this family because we have these particular assets. We were just talking about this
right.
yesterday. We marry for love. Which
I
I
was
Whoa.
mean, I'm
just,
not saying
you
that
know what? I
everybody
was just
marries for
schooling
Whoa.
somebody
love.
on this today.
You should
Thank you,
love.
Queen.
You
Queen,
should love
Queen.
people.
I was just schooling. Thank you
Hey,
to
Whoa.
yo, we might
you.
have to
I
go
had
in
to
on that.
school a dude on that today. I
We
had
might
to
have to
school
go
a
in
black
on that
man on
next
that.
week, man. We might have to go
Okay,
in on that
we're
This
gonna
next
talk
week.
is
about that
fucking
next week because
Defining,
I had a
defining,
big discussion about that.
defining culture. All right, that
Queen.
might be the
No,
topic.
no,
That
put
Might
man,
that
have
in
that's a
to.
Queen.
that's
No,
a
no, hold
whole
on. Thank you,
that's
Queen.
a whole
No,
other
thank
book.
you to Queen. I had to school a dude on that today. I told him about a prenup. He telling me about, well, how you don't know she don't love you? Love? Love
Yo,
got
we
to
talk
do it,
about
marriage.
yo, I talk
Woo.
about this with my lady often, man. The original institution of marriage was not built around love, it was built around assets. It was built around property, ownership.
Building.
We
Building.
definitely got to talk about this next week, y'all. I'm telling you because I feel like the energy, the mindset of people that I'm talking to, I get chewed out all the time when I'm on Instagram Live about it because they're like, "Oh, you're so heartless and you're this," and I'm like, "No, what I am, I'm protective. I have 4 children. I was a single mother, and I refuse to allow the same trauma to be passed down through my children." They have to understand. We have to understand. We got to come together. But coming together ain't just about, oh, I got this and I got that, or I know this and I know that. It's about how you really combine it. How are you really
Right.
going to take it to the next level
Right.
with our assets?
Protect, but
Sometimes
love,
I think the focus
love is
on
about
love,
protection as well. But love is
yeah.
about protection as well. Love is not just about I love Queen because she helps me build, vice versa. Like the other communities think like that. We think love is about, well, that ain't finna
So,
save me if
it's
you finna
crazy.
shoot at me.
I'm
What you
Muslim, right?
talking about?
So listen, I'm Muslim. So there are reasons to get married in Islam, right? And love is like the lowest reason for like you marry for like for of course you can marry for wealth, um, to stop say something from
War.
going on like with wars and stuff like that. Like say there's a
Mhm.
beef with this beef, and people would bring these families together to stop to stop travesty. Like you said, for building purposes, we're going to unify the family to build this thing. So they're going to marry into it was so many different aspects, but love is like this that is the leaf because it takes
Yeah.
nothing. There's nothing else
Love
I
is
involved. I
unstable.
oh
mean, just a,
man.
Love is
I
so unstable. It's like
yeah,
because
it's
there's so
finicky.
many emotions that are attached to love. It's like
Right.
women will leave their man because they cheated when they're taking care of your home, they're taking care of your family, they're giving you the attention that you need, they're giving you the guidance that you need, they're giving you the protection, but you're gonna leave because they cheated.
Sex.
I wish I would walk away from my man, because he cheated. Just because of cheating, when you're taking care of all of that, and then also I get what I need for not just myself but my future generations.
But it goes
You know
back to
what it
what you
is?
just said. They see the love, the it goes back what we've been trained and conditioned. If love is based off the condition, like when I see this community, I don't just see the community for myself. I see this for thank goodness for my children. So when my son says he wants to be a barber, my daughter wants to do hair. I love it. You see what I'm saying? We don't think like that. We've been taught, well, I love him or I love my brother. Listen, I got family members I'll knock the fuck out because they left me stranded. We don't love each other, bro. Ain't no you a hyena, I'm a lion. We made it that way. Ain't no love on this side, homie. Like it's
You know,
just that way.
I do hear certain brothers, especially brothers. I'm hearing certain brothers of influence with big voices and big platforms say things like, you know, I'd rather I'd rather take loyalty over respect. I mean, over love. And I think what I'm hearing there often is the topic around like love and marriage is so rooted in, like you said, emotion and
Right.
feelings.
Yeah, it's
And
Hollywood.
I
Man.
think that's
They make
because
people go after the
it distracts
Hollywood
people.
Hollywood
It's a
version of love.
comfortable it's a comfortable
Right.
distraction. It's a comfortable distraction to duty,
Right.
Yes.
right? What like that's where a lot of the early concepts of marriage were around, like, you do what you're supposed to do from a space of duty. This is how you build generational wealth, by making this
Right.
decision to take on this wife, this land, these sheep, these goats, so
Yeah.
that we
Right.
can build. And then the next marriage, and then the next marriage are to continue to build from a space of duty. I understand.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in love. I love my partner.
And
But
you are now.
we have our very open conversations about,
Well,
like,
let me say this. I gotta say,
yeah.
when I Zelda Blanco, right? So when I get the black, so when I think, so when I'm on mission, when Queen says go, this
All right.
Yeah, man,
is
you
the
tuned
love.
in. Hey, yo, AZ Wild, you tuned in. We locked in, man. The real welfare check, unity, and motion. We
Just
about to
saying.
get up out of here, man. So I just wanted to give like everybody opportunity, man, to actually just give some departing words, man, some inspiring words to the people, man, before we get out of here.
Man, I just want
Anybody?
to start with saying thank you, man.
Man.
Thank you for the opportunity. I love the opportunity to talk to our brothers and sisters that are intentionally doing this work. I love when we have to, get on a call and I see somebody in the car. We had two people join the call from the car, so that's how I know that, they're choosing intentionally to make the time for this when they can,
Yeah,
whether it's between jobs or between initiatives, whatever they're doing. So I'm just thankful to be in the right community of people that really want to help. I think, we grow this community. It just becomes a culturally cool thing, right? Get back to the days of it being a culturally empowering thing to just be a part of the community and not consider one another opposition.
exactly.
You want me to
John,
go or Queen?
yeah, good.
All right. I know this is going to be the group to get me in front of 19 Keys, Dr. Umar Johnson, Eric Thomas. I know this the group. This the group because that's why I'm going to be the speaker for y'all. I'm going to speak to the big boys. I'm just so grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for, to see black people who want more. It's a beautiful thing. It's a good to see it in real time. And, we have the resources, and 4 years I'll be up y'all way. I'm building my children down here in Miami area. It's a bunch of Cubans down here. That's another story. But I have the resources now. I'm gonna have my third album out in about 4 months. Working on affiliate marketing. I soon she'll be off the trucking job. I have more time for this. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited to help 100 million people heal from childhood trauma. Then we go to help people understand the idea of God. And I'm on just on the mid. I'm happy. That's all I can say. I'm done.
All right, yeah, quick.
Well, I just want to say thank you all for even making this vision alive. Like when I thought about the real welfare check and how we can all connect with one another, and I reached out to Kevin and John and was like, "Hey, y'all are the perfect examples that can lead this movement, the unity in motion and everything." I want people to just expand their mind to match their goals and really speak the people, attract the people. Don't go out and search. Don't go chase. Don't do any of that. When you chase something, it's because it's running away. When you attract something, that means it's coming to you. So be
Mhm.
mindful, keep your mind clear, and attract the right people, and just be in the right place at the right time.
Gotcha.
And I love y'all.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Thank
it.
Yeah.
you all, man. I love y'all too, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank everybody, man, for pulling up, for tuning in, man. Next, we know we do this, man, every Tuesday at 8, man. The Real Welfare Check, Unity in Motion. I mean, those that still in the chat, make sure you hit people, share it, tell more people to pull up, because if they serious about building, you serious about building. This is what we doing. This is just not, oh, we just here to have us just a conversation. We can do we can do that on a regular call. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to come on here. This is specifically for y'all. This is specifically for y'all to actually tap in and build. Those who are dissatisfied, disgruntled, right? Those that are looking for actually something to build and get back to, those who are looking to connect in people with like minds anywhere in the US, or around the globe for that matter, because hopefully we'll be touching people in different countries as well. Thing is, man, tap in, man. You about that work? Tap in, man. Let's build. Love y'all. I'm gonna make sure I get the
Peace,
information.
peace, man.
Y'all can holler. You and the Queen can holler so we can
Definitely. Thank you.
get this
And
course
real
going.
quick, Kevin, can you also send me the guy's number from last week? He texted me, but I can't find his number, and I wanted to buy his book.
Oh, all right. Prince. Was that
Hey
Prince?
Yeah.
Jay
No.
Sweet, I need to get your number.
Absolutely,
Nah.
absolutely. Well, I'll make sure to
Love y'all.
send it out.
I'll link you. We're gonna I'll link everybody up. All right.
Perfect.
Okay, got you.
We out.
Right, bro.
We locked in. Have a good night, everybody.
Good
All
night.
right, bro.
All right, we still in the stream.